Hey guys, welcome back to another Division 2 video. In today's video, I have an insanely powerful Heartbreaker build for you guys. So, for those of you who've seen the 4-piece striker build video I made in the past, with the Fenris group and obliterate chest piece, well, that build is a monster in itself, but this build here is very similar to that, but with more survivability. Now, I'm not going to say this build's stronger than Striker, but I will say this though. With this build, you're going to see crits over 1,000,000 and you can put out damage very similar to Striker, but with more survivability, that makes this build more favorable, right? I mean, just take a look at how much bonus armor I'm getting while consistently dealing over 1,000,000 critical hit damage. This Heartbreaker build truly makes legendary missions way easier. And I'm not gonna lie, as much as I love Striker, it does get boring every now and then. So yeah, but let's take a closer look at this Heartbreaker build, and right after, I'll show you guys a variation that works extremely well in PvP. Okay guys, so after testing out a few different Heartbreaker build variations, I found this particular 4-piece Heartbreaker setup with the Coyote Mask and Grupo Bag to be the strongest and most viable, and I decided to have a balance of armor and damage, so I didn't go all red since I mostly solo PvE. So having 1.5 million armor works out fine for me. It only complements my playstyle, but feel free to go all red with this if you'd like. As far as the gear pieces go, maxed out critical hit chance and damage, with a maxed critical hit damage mod on both the Coyote Mask and Grupo Backpack. For the Grupo Backpack, having the talent Vigilance adds a nice 25% increased weapon damage, but just keep in mind that taking damage will disable this buff for 4 seconds. However, having the Ballistic Crusader shield as one of your skills will help with this by giving you an extra layer of protection. And for those who may not know, having 2 pieces of the Heartbreaker gear set will give you 15% assault rifle and LMG damage, while 3 pieces gives you 15% weapon handling, which is really nice. For the Heartbreaker pieces, I have armor rolled as the core attribute, with critical hit chance and damage rolled for the attributes. And for the primary weapon, I'm using the Kingbreaker, which comes with the perfect flatline talent. And for those who don't know, this talent will amplify all weapon damage by 20% to pulsed enemies. So this adds a great deal of damage. Now, I highly recommend going with the ACS-12 shotgun for the secondary weapon, and if you have the named ACS-12 shotgun, the Rock and Roll, then that would be even better because this weapon comes with the talent Perfectly Extra. So you will be getting more rounds per mag, plus I got lucky and managed to get magazine size as a 3rd attribute. The named ACS-12 shotgun will get you a full Heartbreaker stack in 1 to 2 clips, so it helps build stacks quickly. In fact, having the ACS-12 shotgun should almost be mandatory with Heartbreaker because unlike Striker, it's a lot harder building Heartbreaker stacks without it. So yeah, get yourself an ACS-12 shotgun, or even better, the Rock and Roll named ACS-12. Now I'm going to show you guys the stats in just a moment. But for all the gear pieces, you want to roll either critical hit chance or damage. For the stats, 44% critical hit chance and 144% critical hit damage on the Kingbreaker. So for those who don't know, critical hit chance caps at 60%, but since I'm wearing the Coyote Mask, I left room for the bonus crit chance that you get from it, and I recommend you guys do the same. So anything from 40% to 50% is a good critical hit chance to have if you decide to use the Coyote Mask. So just roll either critical hit damage or chance as the attributes on your gear pieces to get similar stats to this. For the weapon specialization, I'm using Technician because it's great and makes it a lot easier to build your Heartbreaker stacks. And the reason why I'm using Technician is for the linked laser pointer attachment. This attachment goes on the underbarrel of long-railed weapons, allowing you to pulse enemies. However, this isn't required as you can still build your stacks without Technician, because by having 4 pieces of Heartbreaker equipped, you can apply pulse to an enemy by landing a headshot. And you see, the way Heartbreaker works is very similar to Striker, so just real quick for those who may not know, in a nutshell, you will need to build up Heartbreaker stacks. Except with Heartbreaker, you can only build stacks on pulsed enemies. Also, you will not only be getting an increased 1% weapon damage per stack, but 1% bonus armor per stack as well, which is the main reason for the increased survivability. And by having the Heartbreaker vest, max stacks get increased from 50 to 100. So again, the ACS-12 shotgun is great for building stacks. Just don't forget to add the linked laser pointer attachment to the underbarrel of the weapon if you decide to use the Technician weapon specialization. So now, using Heartbreaker in PvP is extremely fun, and if you decide to PvP with Heartbreaker, then this build variation will work wonders. I decided to go with having all blue core armor since it suits my playstyle. And for this PvP Heartbreaker setup, I decided to use the Heartbreaker backpack for more survivability, thanks to the talent. This talent will increase total bonus armor gained per Heartbreaker stack from 1% to 2%. Just keep in mind that Heartbreaker can be countered very easily with a pulse resistance build, but it will only lose its effectiveness on any player using pulse resistance. But don't let that discourage you from trying Heartbreaker out in PvP because nobody really runs with pulse resistance, so this shouldn't be a big deal. Heartbreaker is still a very powerful and fun gear set to use in PvP, and having the Catharsis mask not only adds damage, but it also helps with survivability big time. By not having the bonus 200% armor and health recovery armor kit from the Firewall specialization, your survivability will be a lot lower. So keep that in mind, and this is why the Catharsis mask really helps. It will basically heal you thanks to the talent vicious cycle. But a good alternative to the Catharsis mask is a Fenris group AB or Walker Harris mask, since either of these two will help increase your overall damage out. I would probably go for a Fenris group AB mask if I didn't have the Catharsis mask for the 10% assault rifle damage, but that's just me. For the holster, I recommend going with Picaro's holster for the 15% added weapon damage, which is really nice to have. And this holster is very easy to get since it's in the general loot pool, I believe. Okay, so for the stats, 50% critical hit chance and 81% critical hit damage on the Kingbreaker. Don't worry if your critical hit damage is low because most of the damage will be coming from the Heartbreaker set. Plus, when you get your Heartbreaker stacks up, your critical hit damage will increase big time. And remember, the fastest way to build your stacks in both PvE and PvP is by using the ACS-12 shotgun. This shotgun is fantastic at building Heartbreaker stacks, and once you build your stacks with it, switch back to your primary weapon and GG's. For the skills, Defender Drone is great for PvP, and I like to run decoy, but feel free to use whatever you feel suits you better. This is Prajna, and I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And to all the channel members, thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. You guys are awesome. I love you guys, and welcome to the family. You guys can expect member-only exclusive build videos, as well as FAQ videos, and much more in the near future. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and